We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're going commando with Angela and Dana. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Angela DiMarco, and we are Going Commando. Going Commando is a little show that we put together to just really celebrate the realness of our lives and the importance of genuineness and authenticity in our interactions. And so we're here just bearing it all as we see fit. And that's it. And that's all. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Dana. How you doing today?
I do good, thank you.
You do good, thank you. Yeah, it's Monday morning here, and I'm in New York. Dana's in Florida, and I was getting my garden beds ready this weekend. Super exciting!
That's cool.
I love
and here garden. It's too late to get the garden started because by the time they would sprout, they would fry because come June we're standing on the sun. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm super excited. Spring. We've got flowers popping off all over the place up here, and the weather's nice. So my mood is just like it's night and day. I'm seasonal, I need the sun.
Yeah, I saw Anne Marie a couple days ago, and we were hanging out with a friend of ours who's Canadian. And I mean, obviously she's like, oh, we were sitting actually at a restaurant, cafe, bar sort of thing, like right, staring at the water. And she was like, wow. And we were talking about what the temperature is in Canada right now. Like right now, I think it's like 50 degrees or something. And Anne Marie said it perfectly. She goes, you are in the land where time stands still. I was like, that makes, because there's no seasonal anything. It's like warm, or it's like cool, warm, hot, really hot, and then cool, warm, hot, then really hot. Just depends on what length of shorts you want to wear. But anyway, enough about that. Here we are, Monday morning, reconnecting after 2 whole days of being disconnected.
I can't quit.
So for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, what we do is I have a deck of Soul Traveler cards that Anne Marie, who I just mentioned, that she and I created together. It is a combination of, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
Of my artwork and Anne Marie's, that's a bio card. Anne Marie's profound, empowering, inspirational messages. So I pick a card. It's fun for me because I know what the card says, and it's always a surprise to Angela. And then we just go from there and see where the conversation takes us. So, you ready?
I am ready. And for those who are viewing, we stick it up on the screen, and we really would welcome some comments if in the feed, like in the chat or whatever. If you guys can, if you have any thoughts on what we're talking about, because this is a conversation between Dana and I, and we love each other so much, and we think we're wicked smart, but we want to hear from you guys too. So subscribe to our channel so that we can stay pals and join the conversation, please. And
we're doing that now. We're doing that. Like and subscribe. Because I
was thinking about it.
I swore I would never do that. I know that it's necessary, but I'm like, don't they know? They just know. They know. How do you not know? What do you live under a rock? You don't know? Subscribe to the freaking channel. And Rob watches the cow videos and all this stuff, and everybody does the and then there's a bell. And I'm like, I will never. And meanwhile, you're like and subscribe. So yeah, press the fucking button.
just play along with us, okay?
Okay. Now that's wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. All right. So
how do you really feel, Dana?
Yeah. Come on, Dana, don't sugarcoat it. Say it how it is. All right.
Commando.
So this painting is actually half the painting. This painting is called Sister Goddesses, and there's 3, but because of the nature and the scale of the card. But it's kind of cool as 2, but it's even cooler as 3. You go to my website, check it out. Hey, listen, if we're plugging, I'm plugging. Okay. FishGallery.com. Okay. The card is called...
Wait. That's UbuntuFishGallery.com.
No, okay. Right. So the card is called... The message is called Invest in Yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good one. By going from within, following your happiness, and doing what brings you joy, you are investing in yourself, and all others will benefit as a result. Investing in yourself is not being selfish. It is, in fact, exactly the opposite. Because by giving to yourself, you automatically give to others through your experience of happiness. It overflows to others naturally. It becomes the natural overflow of the inner, natural, and pure light of your soul, your spirit. It is a blessing to all, especially yourself. You deserve it. You are worth it.
Oh, that's a good
So
one.
what do we, every single one, we act like it's the best one in the deck. We're like, oh, so good. That's a good one. And it kept jumping at me. Like I pulled a few cards and I was like, ooh, I'll let Angela pick. And this one's like, pick me, pick me. So invest in yourself.
Oh, I don't know if this is going to have a natural segue, but what I was thinking about before with the before we got together today, as I was doing my makeup, I was thinking about how there are the haves and the have-nots, and I don't mean having money. What I mean is having the drive to do better, the drive to move your soul forward, the drive to push yourself forward, and then there are the people who have no drive and they just are comfortable in the spot that they're in. And that it's not a bad thing to be in either space. Like, it's not a criticism, but there are the people that just do the day and they've got their routine and they're on the hamster wheel and they're going through their motions and they're perfectly content. But then there are the people who have the passion, the drive, more like you and I. We're the ones that are constantly checking ourselves to be as best persons we could be, moving our careers forward, because staying stagnant and the same kind of thing is just not our jam. And the haves are the ones who do invest in themselves for whatever, at whatever cost, right? You invest in your personal development. You invest in buying that self-help book, 10 Recommandments for Personal Empowerment by Dana Sardano.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're plugging, this could be a whole plugging thing. But I'm such a dick. Okay. So, but really it's the people that do invest in themselves, that put themselves out there, that have this. You are happy, even though I could be struggling to buy bananas for my family right now. I'm so freaking happy because I'm doing what I love, and I believe in myself and I believe in what we're doing. And that card, yeah, man, it trickles down.
Yeah. Yeah. And the key in between, as you put it, the haves and have nots, they're really truly, the core of it is your worthiness. And we've talked about worthiness before. But, when you're talking about people that like their routine and they do their thing or whatever, I always say people find comfort in their discomfort. That's what they know, right? Mm-hmm. I've referred to the analogy of the hermit crab shells before. And for those of you, you're going to love this. For those of you who have not read Decoding the Woo Woo,
another book by Dana Sardano. The follow-up to 10 Rex.
But, oh my God, this is so bad. But when I in Decoding the Woo Woo, I talked about our hermit crab shells. And essentially, we live in hermit crabs, they live in their shell, right? They choose their shell. And when they start to grow out of their shell, they go on search of another like empty shell, and they go to that shell, and then they grow into that shell, and they continue to do that as they expand. But from the shell that they're comfortable in, that starts to get a little bit too tight for them, to the shell that is more appealing and more comfortable, they have to leave this shell to go to this shell. And what happens is when they are mid-shell, if there's any, or mid, way between the shells, if there's any sign of danger or any predator or anything, any trigger, we'll call it, they immediately revert back to the old shell because it's the devil they know. They're comfortable there. Even though it's uncomfortable, they're comfortable in their discomfort because this is the fear of the unknown. And people, as because we grow and expand and evolve without even realizing it, because every experience, if we pick up something from it, if we learn from it, we grow, whether we want to or not. It's those that are intentionally involving, they grow at a more expeditious rate, right? So if we're aware of that about ourselves, and when that fear strikes, if we're aware that we are worthy and we could trust ourselves and we have always overcome, we're still here, we're still alive, we're still kicking, right? Nobody
Yeah.
died. Angela hears me say,
Nobody.
anybody died? Nobody died, right? We're still here, having overcome a tremendous amount of obstacles to get here. So go forward, go to that new shell, because that new shell is a whole new world. Do not sing. Do not sing. God,
It's
one
really
line.
hard for me.
No,
I
one line.
can't. A
God,
whole new world,
it's a whole
new
new world.
exciting place to be.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay. So what's really cool, I'll just go a step further with it. What happens is you find yourself in this whole new world, and it's wonderful, and you're learning new things, and there's some hiccups, and then you get comfortable there. And then what happens? That shell gets a little bit tight. And we continue on and we do that. And just to give you a personal example, in 2020, when the world came to an end. But in 2020, Rob and I, we bought a new house, and it was the first for me, not for him, but it was the first new construction. And I used to go visit that house every day. And like on my way home from work, I would stop and I would see, oh, they put in a staircase today, and they put in, whatever appliances. And I remember feeling, this is so beyond me. Like it was like that hermit crab. Like I felt like a little bit bougie, right? A little bit bougie, but I understood this is the person I'm stepping into. Like this is the next level for me. And that's how I got myself comfortable with it. Like I even like when I bought new furniture, like I was always like, going to Goodwill and then Pier 1 getting that one piece. But like, and it's just really the first time I was like really truly adulting, right? And now I'm in that house 3 years. And don't misunderstand, I love it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful home. But I look at it and I'm like not only very comfortable in it, but I can see how I'm getting ready for the next level. Not necessarily the bigger house. I don't need a bigger house. My kids will go off to college or go off to wherever the hell they go off to, and maybe we'll downsize. But I can feel so comfortable in that space that at one time felt like a fantasy to me, right?
Yeah.
So if we could look at it that way, that the lives we're living now, and I've read this in a meme before, I'm not all that profound, but the life you live now is a life that you wished for, right? And it's true.
Yes. Yeah.
It's true. But now we've outgrown that, and now we have to take the steps to move on to the next thing. And by doing that, we have to invest in ourselves to bring it full circle and understand our worthiness.
Amen, sister. Amen. I know. Sometimes when I'm having like my reverting to my old hermit crab shell, you were like, you were just hanging the pictures in the new one, and then you got scared and you ran back. It's a great visualization for life, for anything, for trying something new. It's just like, I'm not one to jump into a cold pool. I like it to be nice and warm.
It's got to be August in Florida.
Yeah, I've got my list of needs on certain things, but yeah, and for me, it's so funny because I don't want to plug the books, right? This is becoming the plug. So I'm pulling out all these books, right? Because Dana and I wrote books. So for those who are just listening, I have to do this. Dana wrote 10 Recommandments for Personal Empowerment, and then Beyond the 10.
I have to stop you. You got to, when you edit this, you got to put a buy now. Like
I will. I'm going to be like really obnoxious. And then I wrote Uniquely You, update number 52. And this book, buy now, is literally me investing in myself. This is the story of coming up with an idea for a business and moving into our new house, our new hermit crab shell with my husband. And then a couple of days later, me telling my husband, by the way, I got to quit my 6-figure job because I got to invest in myself. And, our books tell the story, but so many people have these stories. So many people have these little moments. Like, what were you always saying about, you know someone when they're famous, but you don't know what it was till they got to that break, that
there's
shift.
A tipping point. People talk about overnight success. Oh, so-and-so, he's in 6 movies this year, is an overnight success, but nobody talks about the 10 years of him eating pizza out of a dumpster, you know what I mean? And fighting the roaches for the proper bed space in his loft. Like nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
And that's the, the investing, the long game, the 2 marshmallow game.
The 2 marshmallow game.
That's for you, boo.
What's the marshmallow theory? Let's leave the dream out of it.
Okay. So basically, it was. I'm going to butcher it because I don't really know it in its entirety. But I'm going to say the 70s. There was an experiment with kids that the person doing the experiment offered the kids marshmallows. You could have one marshmallow now, or you could have two marshmallows later. Let's say you wait 30 minutes. And then they did a study on these kids growing up. The kids that took the marshmallow, the immediate gratification, versus the kids who delayed gratification, right? And the kids that delayed gratification tended to be more successful in their careers and their homes and their families, so on and so forth. And the way I look at investing in myself is I could see the big picture and understand that if I do these things now to nurture my spirit, right? Whatever that looks like, you know what I mean? It looks different for everybody, but to nurture myself, the big picture always gets, bigger, better, stronger.
Yeah. Well, I know that you didn't write your first book so that you were like, this is going to make me famous. You weren't writing it for the end game. You're writing it because you had some smart shit to say and you wanted to put in a book and you wanted to help people. That was your
Really, really everything should be like, again, invest in yourself should really be about your needs first. And I want to, at some point, we don't have to do now, but I want to address the whole idea of being selfish. But like, we really have to, what do I need? What works for me? Doesn't mean I'm not a nice person. Doesn't mean that I don't have compassion for others. But if I don't focus on my needs first, I can't be the best version of myself for anybody else. So I wrote this book because it felt good for me to write. I had all this stuff here, all this stuff. I had to dump it onto paper. And then it felt really, really good. I accomplished something. I spoke my truth. I did all of this. And there was also a degree of, it's very cathartic because I pulled old stories that I had healed from, but I pulled those stories and had to look at them again and on a whole new level. So it was all yum yum for me all in here, right? But now, yum.
She wrote a book, folks.
I'm so smart, the big brains. So, but now I get to take all of the stuff that I did for myself, and now I get to present it to somebody else. And there's beauty in that.
Yeah. And then, the idea of woo woo, right?
That's what happens when you do the yum yum stuff.
You do the yum yum stuff and you're like, oh, I can write a book. I could do it again. It feels good. I'm going to keep doing it. And then 10 Recs really was the foundation for kind of uniquely. Yeah. Because you said, I want to connect with people. I want to connect with readers. I don't want this just sitting on a shelf. How many times would you say to people, tell me how you're going along. Call me. Talk to me about it. Let me help you because it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that's being able to be there for people. Like the 10 Recs is the perfect example of if you want to invest in yourself and it helps you figure out your shit, get your shit straight. You could work with Dana directly, but just buying and reading this book is the first step. Then there's, I know, I don't mean it that way. Though. I'm not trying to sell shit, but buy a fucking book. No.
Here's a link.
No. But there's what does it mean to invest in yourself? How do you go about it?
Good. I'm glad you're going that direction because I thought I was going that direction before and then I got lost. So I'm glad because it's really important because it looks differently for everybody, but at the same time, it's the same.
Yeah.
What does it look like for you?
For me, okay. My thought of my time was that it had to be busy all the time because I'm working on the business. So me investing in myself is taking 15 minutes every morning to sit with my coffee and stare out the window. Yeah, no. How many times do I get yelled at, right? But that's investing in myself. My personal mental wellness and clarity that's a little piece of it, but is that I'm worthy of taking 15 minutes for myself to just sit, ponder my day, ponder my dreams, ponder whatever it might be. You just sit there and try to not ponder for 15 minutes, But that's a huge investment in myself, because then I have a little bit more clarity going into my next thing. Like you used to say, I would roll into meetings on two wheels every single time because I
Sometimes I
had
didn't
no
have a shirt on. I'm like, Angela, the Zoom call.
well, pants. But even, and then as far as like, with my relationship, doing what I can to make sure that that's always being nurtured, and getting the assistance that we may need if we have some issues, or investing myself in the business, and just like going broke for a little while because I really believe in what we're building.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Dane?
I want to address the elephant in the room, the word selfish, right? So I remember way back when I had my children. I was just shy of 40. I had both of them back to back. So prior to that, I was a career woman, and I used to work out every day, kickbox and run and do all the things, and I would do that before I went to work. And when I had the children, I would do the same thing. I would get up in the morning, both would feed them, get them dressed, put them in the jogging stroller, and I would jog with them every morning before I would go to work. And people at work would always say to me, "Why do you like? How do you do that? Like that's crazy." I was like up at the crack at 5, Like, why would you do that? And I said, because I have to take care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, and I'm not strong and I'm not healthy and I don't feel good, then how could I even be a mother to these children? And what happens is, especially with women, we feel like everybody else's needs have to come first. And that's our whole lives, right? And whatever the conditioning is, we watched our mothers, we watched them put everything out for everybody else and not tend to themselves. And whatever that looks like, again, everybody is got their own story, but we're so used to feeling like, but I have to, like this sense of obligation. And what I do for myself, how do I invest in myself? I say no, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want
Yeah.
to do that, And I don't, and the thing is you can't do that and then beat yourself up over it, because you're just defeating the purpose. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
recognized very late in life, I was, trying to do math here. I was like 44, 45 years old when I figured out I could paint. Like, I had no idea.
Thank
And
God you
it was,
did too.
oh my God. And it was so selfish of me to do something that felt good. It was selfish of me to ask my husband to assist me when I wanted to then bring my art into the world, when I wanted to do like art festivals and stuff. It was selfish of me to tell my husband, just like you did, hey, I got to quit my job. It was selfish of me to say, hey, by the way, I'm starting a business. I'm starting a gallery. I say buying because I had to create it myself, creating a gallery, right? It was selfish of me to say, oh yeah, those couple bucks that we had stored away for a rainy day, I'm going to invest in a business. All of these things were selfish of me. However, they're all two marshmallows, because I see the big picture, because I do understand the act of being of myself and the act of investing in that. Only good things could happen around me. My husband, even though he's constantly hands high, biting his nails, because it's not, like the risks are there, and it's not an easy road. But he has this beautiful life. He has these happy, well-adjusted children. He has this happy wife. He has this beautiful home, because I continue to invest in myself, and then I'm able to be all these things for the people around me.
Yeah.
It's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it a step, even a step back, right?
Okay.
My whole life, I believed, up until I was 35, right? I believed that I had to be whatever anybody needed me to be, and I had to just serve everybody at my own detriment, right? So, hey, can you help me move this weekend? While I have plans or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, I'll work around it. No, I'll help you, and make myself run ragged. Like, that was my whole life. I could not say no to other people. I could say no to myself, but not to other people. And so when I went into Alcoholics Anonymous, I was 35 years old. And that's where I learned how to be selfish, like how to take care of the self,
That's all
and
that is.
that's all it is taking care of the self, putting me first. And like I had a great therapist. His name was Joe Amato. Oh my God, Joe, you're my savior. He's the best. And, he would say like I would be like we would practice, and he was like, just say, oh, let me check my calendar so that I can go away and think about if it's something I really want to do or not without the pressure of having to think, and just giving that myself that little like pause, let me see if I have something going on and then I'll get back to you. Like that was the best. Now I'd be like, no fucking way, I'm not helping you move. I don't wanna. But then I remember people in life like my aunt. At one point, she like yelled at me. She's like, "You're so goddamn selfish." Meanwhile, I was trying to get sober, going through a divorce, like dealing with separation of my kid. Like I was fucking miserable, and she was mad because I wasn't doing something for her, whether that I normally would have. It was my pattern. I'm the one that broke it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
you're
remember
going to
being,
send out the memo when you change your pattern. Everybody around you,
yeah,
hey, that's a
exactly.
pushover. We should go.
And there was a part of me that was like hurt by that. And then my therapist was like, no, you're taking care of yourself. Like, it's okay. It's okay. So it's even little things, like it's okay to change who you are and the people, because you're not here to serve other people. You're here to serve yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yep, 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 yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yep.
yep. And I can't, because it's such a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp. You know what I mean? Like I've always overindulged others because of my own lack of worthiness. Because again, my pattern, and this is partially joking, but this is really partially important. Truly in 10 racks by now, but I go through how we can identify our beliefs about ourselves, our lack of worthiness, where it comes from, restructure that belief system, take irrational beliefs we have about ourselves that are creating these toxic behavioral patterns, reverse these beliefs, and or I shouldn't say reverse these beliefs, substitute them with more rational, reasonable beliefs, and then create new patterns. And it's really funny. I'm realizing the irony of this, because you and I, this whole video, we have been cracking wise about how uncomfortable it is to promote ourselves. But at the end of the day, we are worthy. Oh my God. So little irony just kicked me right in the ass, But
Bye now.
is we are worthy if we want to invest in ourselves, and our true purpose, and we have stated this and believe this, is to be the best versions of ourselves and assist others in doing the same. Then part of that investment is letting you know we have something to offer. Please, if you're ready, if you want to make the change, if you want to feel good, even if it's the slightest adjustment, you want to move to that next hermit crab shell, by now.
You know what? Just because I don't have the tag at the end, I'm going to do this because for the readers, okay? Seriously, for people who are out there listening, 10 Recommandments for Personal Empowerment by Dana Sardano. This is the book that you need to get if you are just
Second
looking for
edition.
assistance.
Just to be clear, second
edition. Second edition. It's available on Amazon. I'm going to put the links in the comments. And then Dana wrote the follow-up, Beyond the 10, Decoding the Woo Woo. And this book is, if you are even like curious about energy, alignment, manifestation, all those woo-woo words, she helps break it down and put in a very practical, how it practically affects our lives.
Yeah.
And there's a phenomenal story about Dana overcoming a big health challenge. And
you know what?
Oh, it's a good one.
Bring up Veda too while you're at it, because Veda's for the kids.
Veda is for the kids. So Veda, second edition as well. Veda Finds Her Crown. Awesome. This is like a great workbook, not just for kids, but for adults.
Yeah, I do a workshop on it for adults.
Yeah.
And teach kids, actually, also.
Yeah. This has so much. It's a little story, and then it's awesome workbook in the back to help you kind of go through. And the chakras are related to different points in your life. You know what I mean? Starting with from 0 to 7 and up, and the things that happen to us then. And she has you look at them and kind of rectify that and straighten yourself out. Get yourself in alignment. Alignment. I wrote a book about starting a business. I'm a first-time entrepreneur, someone who took a gigantic risk. Like I said, we bought a very expensive house in Bayport, and I'm like, I need to quit. It started with I've got my little Joshua baby here. I had a miscarriage, and he was the catalyst for me starting a business, and it goes into my own personal development. And in the beginning, I will admit, you'll see, I'm like very like, oh my God, we're amazing.
Little cringy, little cringy.
But yeah, Dana and I teach workshops on our books on finduniquelyyou.com. We just want to expand on what we know and help other people to get there too. And they're all like, Dana and I have stories. Like we have good stories, but we have both overcome so much shit in our lives. And we got to be the persons that we are, to have the courage to go from shell to shell, to move forward. And everybody has challenges that they've overcome. And it is so important that today we connect as humans on an authentic level and share our stories, because our stories are something that like AI and Chat GPT and all that crap that we'll never be able to do. We'll never be able to share those stories and those emotions that are tied to it. So it's really, really important that we connect. So buy a book, take a workshop, connect with us, comment on this. Let us know. We really want to connect with you guys. It's really, that's who we are.
Yeah. And can I close with some homework?
You can close with homework, but subscribe. Yeah. Okay.
I want anybody who is listening to this, I want you to take a moment when it's over, and I want you to look back on your life experience and really look at all the times you exhibited courage and you moved forward and you overcame and you were better for it, because you're here. You're here right now. So you've done that. Take stock, look back, revel in your greatness, and then look forward, find the prize, keep your eye on the prize, and keep moving forward. And that's my little bit of homework by Dana Sardano.
That's a good nug, girlfriend. Okay, so with that, we're over our 30-minute mark. We're trying to keep these as short as possible for you guys, so it's not annoying to listen to us drone on and on. But I think we've said enough.
Thanks for coming.
Have a great week. Have a great week, everybody. Yeah.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by Uniquely Phenom Collaboration. To learn about our tools and resources designed for creators by creators, go to uniquelyphenom.com.